We are outside the Bernabeu, and I will say Nick Cam is back. Welcome back again, Nick.
Good to be back. Thanks, Sid.
So 3-2 victory against Celta Vigo, keeping pressure on Barcelona. Talk to me about the performance from the first half to the second.
First half was good. A slow first half. We've kind of seen that. It's kind of been a theme this year at the Bernabeu. The first half hour was slow, but then really got off the mark. Arda Guler with a worldie. Kylian Mbappé again, both from the same spot, almost from the same spot that Fede Valverde scored that banger against Athletic Club as well. They seem to like that part of the box. But no, the performance was good in the first half, and then came out in the second half. How important was that early goal from Mbappé? How important did that end up being? Because we know Celta, they stayed true to their reputation. We saw it here in the Copa del Rey. They came back from 2 goals down at the end to tie it up. And they tried. They almost got there, but we withstood it and hung on. Had a couple of chances as well in the second half. Brahim Diaz coming the closest, but kind of snatched at his shot a little bit. I don't think he expected to have that much room in the box. That one could have put it to bed. But in the end, 3 points. It's well poised going into next Sunday, I'd say.
Well poised, but the person who made it well poised in a way was Arda Guler. The performance, the goal, the assist, and also the chance he had when Vinny crossed the ball to him and he attempted it with his weak foot. I mean, what a player! And will it be the start of the combination between Mbappe and Guler? Like probably this game marks the start of that combination we might see a lot in the future.
Yeah, well, maybe we will look back on this one and say this was the start of it. It was interesting because you and I spoke before the game. On paper, it looked like it was going to be a diamond with Guler in midfield. Now, it started off, he was on the right side. I paid close attention to him, as I think many Madridistas did throughout the whole game. He started off on that right-hand wing, but then found himself in the first half going infield, coming into the midfield, ended up the first half again back on that right wing, which is kind of where he primarily played in the second half. Really happy to see him getting a standing ovation as well from the Madridistas when he was taken off. Really, really good performance, and you mentioned it as well. A chance early in the second half, saved by Guaita, to put Real Madrid, 4 up, and that probably would have put them far and away ahead. But in the end, a man of the match performance for me.
The match performance for sure, and especially that pass where he broke the line of defense.
The diagonal through ball, the vision to Mbappe for Mbappe's second third of the game. I mean he's a world-class player. He's showing it game in and game out. When he gets these extended minutes, he can produce moments like this, and he's doing it on a regular basis.
And definitely, I'm hoping he gets to start against Barcelona. Will be difficult if Rodrigo is fit. But talking about Mbappe, man, what impressed me today a lot was his movements were like of a number 9. Now this is the challenge that was imposed on the club when we signed him, the fact that you have to make him move like a number 9, and today the way he was linking up play with the wingers, even the movements where he spotted the ball that Guler gave him, it was great. And that first goal was just out of this world.
The first goal was as a striker, you have to have a certain level of arrogance. Mbappe, he had the step on the defender, almost allowed the defender to get close to him, and then just absolutely laces through it and puts it in the top corner. But we've talked about it at the TV as well, at Real Madrid TV. His center forward play is something that is continuing to evolve, continuing to grow. It's not his natural position. A lot of people forget. They think, world-class forward, you can just slot him in wherever. It's not the case, really. He loves that left wing. Vinny loves that left wing as well. But Mbappe, with his versatility and his maturing as a player, has shown that he can get it done in a number of different ways. Back to goal, making those runs. We saw him come out to that right-hand side a little bit today when Guler, as I mentioned earlier, was coming infield. His all-around game has been spectacular, and obviously chipping in with goals helps.
And talking about Thibaut Courtois, man, because I feel Celta Vigo started really well. I think 2-0 down at halftime was not showing the whole story, and Thibaut Courtois kept us in the game early in the first half, and even in the second half he made some crucial saves, where there's one save where the ball went through him, but he again
Pablo Duran in on goal. It's one that honestly that Pablo Duran will want back. He had time to pick his spot and put it a little too close to Courtois. Now, that being said, one-on-one is the hardest situation for a goalkeeper, and you have to make that save. But also going back to the Mbappe, the second goal in the first half, that goal came literally about 15 seconds after a Thibaut Courtois save from a Borja Iglesias deflected shot. and then comes right back down. Yeah, I mean we can't sing his praises enough. He's the best goalkeeper in the world, has been for some time now, and he really, when he's on his game, which he always is, we feel like we can beat anyone, and he'll save everything.
He will save everything for sure, and he showed it again, time and again. He has those performances. Talking about the next week that we mentioning against Barcelona. In a way, it's the final, but you don't have extra time.
Yeah.
Do you think after what happened in Copa del Rey and the way we, performed against them, we could go and take a result here and there and probably add spice to the title race? Because I am not confident that there is a title race, but if a result favors us and that game, that there could be one.
Well, you have to look at that second half of the Copa del Rey in extra time, especially considering the first two results of the season against Barcelona. You have to look at that second half, and you have to take the silver lining out of it and say, we were far and away the best team in those 75 minutes. We were, and lucky, sometimes luck does play a factor into it. Jules Koundé ends up getting the winner for Barcelona in extra time. We've seen in those extra 30 minutes, anything can happen. And usually it's not necessarily a star that steps up in those moments. But no, I think we'll be looking at that performance. Barcelona were really on the ropes in that second half. And when Mbappé came on, and I think Real Madrid will be looking at that, and they'll be saying, we can really get after this team. They went 1-0 down against Valladolid inside 6 minutes yesterday. Now, I understand heavily rotated squad. Big risk by Hansi Flick. Yes, they have Inter coming up in the week, but it's almost like he put La Liga on the back burner, and it's hard for a team and just people in general, psychology, to flip that switch. And I use Arsenal as an example. Drew 2-2 with Crystal Palace going into a PSG clash. Lose that one at home. Lost yesterday at Bournemouth. Expect to turn it around against PSG in midweek. It doesn't work like that. So Hansi Flick is kind of playing with fire. And I think that, with the offensive output we saw today from Real Madrid, Barcelona should be worried.
Should be worried, and I'm hoping they are, because if we can get those goals in Montjuic, there could be a title race for the last 3 games. Before you go, Nick, who was your man of the match today and why?
So it was Arda Guler for me. Obviously, Mbappé got the 2 goals, but Arda Guler, just the goal, the assist, the vision, everywhere on the pitch, did a bit of defending as well, moved kind of about as he pleased. It kind of reminded me of him for Turkey almost. I watched him live in the Euros for Turkey. Starts out on that right wing. He wants to be on the ball, though. It's what he wants to do. He's going to gravitate towards that. He wants to control the game, and I think he did that for large stretches today. So for me, it's Arda Guler.
Arda Guler, well deserved. And this was, guys, Nick Cam outside the Santiago Bernabeu.